We start today's video with a random Monopoly fact. Did you know that there are no official pictures of the Monopoly man with a monocle? You may have an image in your mind of him with a monocle, but he's never had one. Not ever. Hey folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Monopoly. And when last we left off, I'm in an incredibly powerful situation. I have 4 monopolies, all but 2 of the hotels, and $2,383. I'm also preventing Penelope from getting a monopoly of her own. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I have no reason to trade any properties to anyone, and my plan is that if a player goes broke, I'm going to try and buy 1 property of each set so that no one else can get monopolies. Which means I get more money than they do, and you just rolled an 8. That is extremely bad, because you're now here, you can't pay the $950. But you can if you mortgage more of your properties. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get Venter Avenue. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can get Venter Avenue. You have paid your debt. $950 to me? Right, I'm going to look at my assets. So I don't have a yellow and I don't have a pink. So if I trade with Ollie and say, hey, will you give me Venter Avenue and I will give you $500 for Venter Avenue. Will you say yes? Will you say yes? Yes, you will. I wish to unmortgage it. It's a deal! Okay! So, now I have that, which means my assets are now that. So the only property that I need to gain 1 of is pink. And I don't know who has 1 of those. So if I trade, say, with Erwin, does Erwin have 1 of the pink properties? You have 2 of the pink properties. But if I say, take Virginia Avenue, and offer, say, $500 for Virginia Avenue, he will take it. Okay! Now, not only do I have 4 monopolies, but I now possess at least 1 of every property, which means that no one else in the game can create a monopoly unless I let it happen, which I won't. This is a brilliant demonstration of monopolies. Yep, 25 to Erwin. They're just trading the same amount of money around. And they're just hoping that they don't roll really poorly, doctor's fee there, and land on 1 of my properties, which is half the board at this point. Now, I could still get a really bad roll. I could still end up landing on a chance or community chest and end up having to pay lots of money for all the hotels I own. But all it takes is 1 person to land on 1 of the bigger ones. No one's landed on the blue ones yet. No one's landed on a blue hotel. When they do, it will be an event. It will be an event. This property is mortgaged, yep. Now, if you roll really, really high here... You did not. You went straight back to jail! They took 1 look at the board and went, you know what? I think here is safer. Alright, Erwin. If you roll low, you again avoided those properties. No one's landed on those yet when they've had the hotels on them. And there's 26 to Penelope. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for 1 of them to land on 1 of my things. Ollie is the next weakest player. Ollie is the weakest player, and it doesn't matter what happens with their properties, because I have 1 of each of all the others. So they can't make monopolies. You're still in jail. And it's Erwin. Erwin rolling a 7. Putting you there. Avoiding all my stuff. Okay. You can trade whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Unless you're trading utilities. You want St. Charles's Place? Okay, St. Charles's Place for Pennsylvania R&R. And Kentucky Avenue. And Atlantic Avenue. And Illinois Avenue. And $219. There was a trade! A trade has happened! The AI has traded stuff! Wow! That achieved very little, except somebody now has slightly more of the railroads. And I now have $200 more. Alright, Ollie. Don't land on the dark blue if you want to survive. You didn't, but you still have to pay me $250. So I now have even more money. You actually have less money than you before the roll. So, 1,208. You rolled a 9. You're still in prison. Owen is doing a great job of avoiding everything. To a point. Now you have to pay Penelope that. That's 50. I do want to get all those eventually. Okay. It's an 8. That puts me one of my properties. I'm safe. Ollie! There is a veritable obstacle course here for you. 550. Can you pay that? Yes, you can, but it's going to be difficult. Yep, now you have even more stuff mortgaged, and I take 550. Ollie is in so much trouble. Ollie is in so much trouble. Alright, Penelope. 3, you're out of jail. This puts you here, which is Irwin's. It's not my one. Okay. Irwin, where are you going? Could roll a 2. You rolled a 7. Advance to the nearest railroad and pay the owner twice the rental. I have 3,000. There's nothing I can spend money on. I don't have anything else I can develop. I could start taking properties from people. You know, I could do that. So, Irwin has one of these. And Kentucky Avenue. What if I take State Avenue and say, would you like 300 for State Avenue? Yes? It's a deal. Okay. Fantastic. How about as well, while I'm thinking about it, okay, you still have 2 of those. What else do you have? You have that. You have that. You have Pacific Avenue. Could I take Pacific Avenue off your hands for, like, $400? Yes, I can. Okay. So now I have 2 of each of those. So if I now get the second yellow one and the second red one. Now if I go to trade with Ollie, Ollie has that. What if I give you 300 for that? He's like, yes. I do wish to unmortgage it. Okay. I now have 2 of that one. Now, the only one that I cannot do this with is you. Actually, wait, who now owns the red ones? It's you. You own both of the red ones. Okay, I can no longer trade because you're not going to trade those away. However, I think that's a pretty decent amount of assets. The only things I don't have right now are the utilities. I do have one of the railroads. Okay, that's good. I think I will carry on from here. I own most of the properties on the board now. That one, however, is Irwin's. Red is Irwin's, and everybody else owns a scattering of other properties, but I also don't own any of the utilities. But everything else is all mine. Alright, Irwin. Roll really badly. That's not too bad, but I do still get $22 from that. Okay. Land on the dark blue. Oh! You did not land on it. No one has landed on that yet. Purple has paid out far more. Okay. 22 to Penelope. Irrelevant at this point. Alright, Ollie. Where are you going? If you land on any of my properties, you are in so much trouble. So much trouble. Roll again. A 4. That is mortgaged. I could try and get that at some point. That is mine. 26 to me. Do I go for that? No. No. Be careful, Kiko. Be careful. 28 to Irwin. Irwin. Can't roll onto that. Can land on this and give me 450. Okay, with this money, I'm going to try and get that railroad. Right. I'm going to try and trade with Ollie for... He really doesn't have very much. Oh, he really doesn't have very much. I will give you 200 for this railroad. I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you that. No deal. I don't want to give you that. I don't have to give you that. I'll instead roll my Bs. Alright, Ollie. You'll go. Again, someone lands on luxury tax rather than boardwalk or park place. Darn it! Okay. Someone's got to land on this. No one landed on this. You got a double pass go, effectively. But you still can't build any properties. Ollie's gonna go out of the game soon. It'll happen. Okay, Owen. $550 to me. Fantastic. Okay. My assets right now, I have 2 of the yellow. Can I trade with Ollie for... Okay, he doesn't have the yellow. In fact, I'll note that Ollie doesn't have any properties at all. What if I trade with Irwin? Irwin has no yellow. It's Penelope that has yellow, does she? Yeah, she's not going to trade with me. She's not going to trade that with me. 4. That's fine. 50 to Penelope. Ollie's about to go broke, but Ollie only has utilities. Okay. 25 to me. That's why Ollie's holding on to those utilities so stubbornly. Okay. That is your own. Oh. Irwin wants to trade with me and says, give me this. No. That was an incredibly lucky purchase near the beginning, at the beginning of the game. It has stopped so much from happening. It has stopped so much. That is a 7. Oh, just avoided. Just avoided my stuff. Only just. Okay, Kiko. We're pretty safe here. We are very safe here. We just get another $200. You know, I'm going to now go to Ollie, and I'm going to make a trade for his electric company. And I'm going to say $600 for it. He's going to counteroffer for a property, isn't he? Venta Avenue. No. I'm not giving you Venta Avenue. I will give you $1,000, though. How about that? Yeah, he'll take 1,000 for the electric company. He'll take 1,000 for the electric company, but now I have the electric company. And Ollie immediately goes to unmortgage his railroad. I don't... And now he's going, hey, give me the electric company back. No. You sold the electric company. I don't want to give that back to you. You sold it. It's mine now. If Ollie now lands on the electric company... Oh no, he just landed there and had to pay $9.50 to me. So Ollie, I feel kind of rotten about this, but you've got a waterworks here. Would you like to trade the waterworks to me for $800? You would? Excellent. So, I've gained money here. And now the only thing Ollie has is a railroad. And I'm about to get that railroad. So, So now if Ollie goes out the game, this has no impact on me, because I have got all of his things. That's a 10. Puts me straight to here, which is actually the best outcome for me. Ollie has money, but nothing to do but give it to me. Case in point, there's $18 going to me. When I get to 2,000 again, I'm going to buy that railroad off him. Although I don't think he'll want to trade the railroad to me. $70 to me. Already that's paying off. 3. That's $18 to me. Kiko here with 2,429. Rolls a 6. Lands on my own property. I'm safe. Ollie here just needs to land on one of my hotels in the... Or just go straight to jail. He is straight in jail. That does mean at least he can't lose more money. You have won second prize in that beauty contest and got $10. I'd really like someone to land on one of the dark blue properties. I'd really like it to happen. It has not happened yet. I want it to happen. It will be glorious. Well, still paying $25 to Ollie for that, but soon I will get that off him. Soon. Alright, Ollie is gonna roll. If you got a double that made you land on one of my things, the 8. If you got an 8, that would be so unfortunate for you. Yes! $2,000! That is all your cash! You don't have to mortgage Atlantic Avenue. You have paid your debt. $2,000 to Kiko. Hey, Ollie, would you like to trade away your last property? I will give you $700 for it. He says yes. Ollie now has nothing on the board. He has no property. He has nothing. Also, Penelope, that property that you just got mortgaged, Would you like to trade that to me for $500? It is a monopoly. It is a monopoly. But you know what? I can pay it. I can pay it. I can easily pay it. And now if I want to, I could build houses on Atlantic Avenue. I want to build 6. Does anyone want to build houses, by the way? No? No. Didn't think anybody did. Because nobody can. 1,000 should be enough to get around the board. Especially if someone lands here and gives me $450. At this point, it's just cruel to keep taking all of their stuff. But, there we go. 28 to Irwin. Oh, if Ollie's really unlucky, if Ollie goes out, it doesn't matter. They have no properties. They can't earn anything. The only money they have is the money they've got on their person. That's it. They don't have any assets. And you rolled a 6, which puts you on the train tracks, which is me. I now get 50 from these. I could start trading for those as well. I do own all the utilities. 550. He can't afford that. What's he gonna mortgage? Pennsylvania Avenue. He can now pay me. Could I get that off him? Could I get Pennsylvania Avenue off him? If I offer you, like, $500, will you trade me Pennsylvania Avenue? No, he'd want a lot more than that. That gives me another monopoly. Okay. That's perfect. And just like that, I now have even more monopolies. And I can... There's only 2 sets of properties that I don't completely own. There's only 2 sets of properties I don't completely own. And it's now my turn. And soon I can just start building more houses. Oh no. I've got to build those hotels, by the way, on green. That's where they need to go. And when we come back, folks, the beginning of the end, and I'm not even joking, it's the beginning of the end. There is no way that they can recover from here. It's just a matter now of how long it will take before they all run out of money. Ollie is going to be first, then Irwin, and then finally it will be Penelope. Let's see how long it takes as we get a monopoly on everything. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later. Bees! We haven't rolled bees for quite a while. We've been too busy earning money, and then using that money to earn more money, and then using that money to earn more money. And I'm really starting to feel what this game was made for. Really starting to feel it. Later.